What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. A little bit of a cleaner, more thoughtful. We've now had time to sit on the Bo Bichette move. It's still crazy to me. It's still absolutely insane that the Mets signed Bo Bichette, but we're going to talk about Bo Bichette. We're going to talk about the trade market, the Kyle Tucker fallout, outfielders, infielders, pitchers. The Mets need a lot. We're going to cover it. This is going to be a good episode for you guys. A little bit of free-form baseball talk for you. Before we get going into it, guys, make sure you are subscribed to Mets'd over on YouTube. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, how are we feeling now that we've thought about Bichette for a few days?
Feeling good. This felt like the first time before an episode of video that we've actually been able to kind of prep a little bit and catch our breath, because it felt like basically the whole calendar month, like since Edwin Diaz signed with the Dodgers, it's just been kind of pandemonium the entire time. But it's been fun to kind of like digest the Bichette thing. I think now, especially more so than Friday, I'm significantly more excited about it, especially with the fit, the player, like the contract. Everything now is making me kind of feel like a little bit giddy about this.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a moment where I was like upset that we signed Bo Bichette. I know that, it was more shock, and I know people are dogging me for saying I would have had P. Alonso over Bo Bichette, and that's fine. I stand by my take. But like at the same time, Bo Bichette is a good ball player. My biggest question is not going to be whether he hits or how well he hits. It's really about playing third base again, because we've heard so much about defense and how that's been so important this offseason. That was David Stern's thing. The entire offseason is about defense. And we took a guy who didn't play the position he played his entire career well defensively, and now we're putting out a position he's never played professionally. Like I am.
Are you talking about Jorge Polanco?
Yeah, I'm talking about Jorge Polanco and Bo Bichette. Like we're doing it with two guys. That's the interesting thing to me here. That's the only thing that makes me have any sort of reservation, but also like true to me, I don't give a shit actually about the defense at all. If Bo Bichette mashes like he has, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah, and also the worst case scenario is like, he can't play third, he just DHs,
and that's my take. Is I think he's going to end up being the main DH on this team actually this year.
I think he could probably hang at third base. Like we've had a lot of reports out there that just Bo Bichette's it seems like a lot of the problems for him are very shortstop specific. It was just the fact he had to move both directions. Like third base is hard though, because you have to figure out if you're going in or staying back. Like that's a totally new thing.
Yes and no. You still charge a lot of balls at shortstop. Like,
it's different reaction time. It's different angles, short compared to third.
That also, like the positive thing too, is now having Kai Correa. He's our bench coach, right? I think.
Yeah, he's bench coach.
He's
like the fielding guru.
Yeah, he's the fielding guy. He made J.D. Davis into a competent third baseman, and that guy played third base about the worst that I've ever seen when he was with the Mets. So the fact that he was able to get him to be much better defensively for a guy who really had no business playing the position, I'm sure it's going to be fine with Bichette. I am just interested to see what that looks like.
Kai Correa probably is the most not underrated, because we can't rate him yet, nothing's happened. Probably the least talked about, most important thing that's happening inside the Mets world that maybe us as the public are a little bit not as keyed in with. It feels like the Mets have a supreme confidence in changing players' positions this offseason. Like something that you would only do in MLB The Show, or like if FIFA swap the wings and you lose a little bit those chemistry points. But I think there is something to like the Mets just must have. The defensive metrics that these teams have internally are so much different, I think, probably better than what we're getting ourselves between OAA, DRS, UZR. So they have to have some kind of keyed indication that they know that these things can actually work, like they can pull this stuff off. And I think that's probably them working with that kind of confidence, again, gives me more confidence. And also, one of the best stories that happened last week before the chaos began, we spoke about this, but the great videos that went around of Brett Baty, Jet Williams, and Marcus Semien working out together in that field in Texas.
Yes.
Apparently that was set up by Kai Correa. Kai Correa, has him and Semien have been speaking about like what to do with this team, and that they kind of organized that workout with those three guys purposefully, intentionally. And that was like Brett Baty in one of Will Salmon's articles this week. And and again, 3 banger articles.
Unbelievable.
48 hours. Every single one more illuminating than the last. But
first to the Bichette as well.
First to the Bichette, and drop the note. This is a cool, quick aside here. So Will's been talking all about the Mets this whole offseason. He's been on top of every single move, every single rumor, everything. And in this article on The Athletic over the weekend, he mentioned that the Mets had reached out to Bichette for the first time back in November at the GM meetings, and that there was a connection with these guys the whole time, but it was kept very quiet. They even had very substantial meetings last week before the Kyle Tucker stuff was going down. Sick by Will to hold that close to the vest.
That is sick.
Because for that to get public, that would make the Phillies have pushed harder, and you wouldn't have been able to kind of swoop in and do this at the last second. So it's very, very cool to see that Will had this incredibly juicy tidbit that would have gotten him tons and tons of clicks if he put it out any moment over the last 2 months, held it, team got to make the move, kind of probably with that added leverage.
Yeah, especially because we know that the Phillies, Bo Bichette asked for
ready to go
6 for 200 or something like that.
7 for 200.
7 for 200. The Phillies gave it to him, and he said, "Actually, never mind. I'm going to go to the Mets. I want the Mets to offer a little bit more because he got the 1 year opt out. He got the opt out after year 2. Like, if the Phillies knew, or maybe if it was more public information, maybe that offer changes. Maybe he's playing for Philadelphia, and it is huge not only to get Bo Bichette onto this team, but also to make sure he's not playing in Philly too. Like, he would have been a great fit in that lineup.
Yeah, and again, that's probably where a little bit of this aggressiveness came, and I do think that us, like a lot of people, when the news dropped, it kind of felt like a panic move, like a reaction, not signing Kyle Tucker. But it's nice to know that there was like seemingly the concepts of a plan to get both of these guys as of last week.
Crazy.
Which that would have been. Talk about a news dump right there.
Boy, genius, God. Dumpster Dave was almost going to spend $300 million like that.
And like there's reason to believe this could be the most player-friendly contract in the history of baseball, right?
Yeah, like Bregman's was pretty close to it,
but Bregman's had deferred money.
Yes, Juan Soto's is probably the number one.
But I think if Juan Soto was
he's getting $750 million for 15 years.
Pretty good.
That's the best contract that's ever been given to a human on the face of the earth.
All right, we'll knock that one off. This one, the fact that he can opt out after 1 year while being like the 6th or 7th player all time to make $42 million in a season.
Yes.
With no deferrals and a full no trade clause. And there is that clause that we're kind of waiting for clarification on, what was called the opt-out bonus. Will didn't reference any of that in his pieces. I DM'd Will and asked him what actually was if we could validate that, and he said not yet. So I'm like, all right, we're going to keep it out of there. But that's going to be something that's going to be fun to see when the official announcement comes, hopefully this week.
Yes. But like overall, let's talk now a little bit about what Bo Bichette does to this team, because we briefly talked about in our reaction. And one thing that we were like, does he hit second? Does he hit third? What kind of way do we... I kind of like third. I'm talking myself into third because he's just so hyper-contact focused. And the fact that Lindor and Soto are going to get on base at such an elite rate, especially Soto, he's going to have one, if not two guys on in front of him most of the time when he comes to the plate. For a guy who does hit for average, hit over 300 last year, that feels like a really easy way. While we're not going to probably be able to recoup necessarily the power that we lost from this team last year, but in terms of like run scoring ability, RBIs, in this lineup, if Bo Bichette hits 311 in the number 3 spot or hits 290, he's going to drive in 110 runs.
Well, I mean, that's how the Blue Jays use him, especially in the playoff run. He was hitting 4th for them every single game, which is, second leadoff spot, so that's something to keep in mind there. But just stack as many guys on base as you can in front of this guy, because he has an ability that those other guys don't have. Friend of the program, Matt Eddy, DM'd us talking about that on whenever it dropped. It's just like there probably isn't a better contrasting player talent-wise for Juan Soto in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Like here you have the uber-patient left-handed slugger who's going to walk more than anybody in the game. Possibly right behind him, you're going to have a right-handed hitter who swings at every single pitch and is just ready to put the ball in play no matter where it goes. Doesn't care about pulling a ball, doesn't care about shit else. Like it's fun to stack those guys together right now. It's
funny seeing all the Blue Jays fans like messaging us and telling us, they're like, good luck with Bo. Keep him safe, but also at the same time, you're going to love him, and there's going to be times where you're going to want to rip your hair out because, like you said, he will just swing at everything. He is not interested in walking. He's putting that ball in play as much as he physically can. And for a lot of Mets fans who clamored that this team didn't do that enough last year,
perfect.
This is perfect for them.
And there's also just there's something about the way this entire offseason's gone, about seemingly the types of players the Mets have wanted to add to this clubhouse. Everyone says incredible things about Marcus Semien. There's been that story going around this winter that Marcus Semien was trying his hardest during the season to get the Rangers together, and too many of the players were like, no, basically.
Which is so lame.
Like trying to organize, like team beers, team dinners, like stuff like that. Like everyone says that stuff about Jorge Polanco too. And one of the quotes from this the Salmon article got to me where he is, as one team source put it, exactly the type of guy we want on our team. And we kind of poo-pooed the idea in the beginning of the offseason. This came from the For All You Kids podcast, Baseball Prospectus, Jared Seidler, Jeffrey Paternostro, that David Stearns was enamored by Bo Bichette, like when the offseason began. Like, wanted to find a way to squeeze him on this team. We were like, how the world is he going to fit in this team? And we found a way to squeeze him on this team.
Yeah, it's good. It's a position he's never played before. We should have considered that he would have played a position that he's literally never even taken one rep professionally at.
He just did that in the World Series. Imagine.
No, but he played second base in the minors. He literally never even played a single pitch at third base in the minors.
And I don't think your take is that far off, that him playing third base might be the strangest part about this, especially just because for years running, he's basically the worst defensive shortstop in the league.
Don't tell some people. They're like, he's actually not that bad. No, he's horrible at the short side.
That was the first time I tangled with Blue Jays fans 2 off seasons ago, and I said, like, this guy, people were trying to call him a top 5 shortstop in the league. I was like, he's definitely not even close because how bad he is at defense. But I don't like this. there's guys like who don't have the strongest arms at third base. Alex Bregman's one of the best defensive third basemen in the league. He doesn't have a very strong arm, and like
I think Arenado now doesn't have a strong arm. Still grades well defensively.
And like the run prevention thing keeps coming up. You led with it. The fact that fans everywhere are like, what's actually the goal here? I do think that if you played shortstop, I think you could probably play other positions.
Well,
I'm banking on that one.
James,
what
do I need to tell you about the guy who's got 100-pound cinder blocks for feet that had played third base the last couple of years for the Mets?
Like, you played third base when you were 17 years old. Very different than major leagues.
He was a shortstop at one point. They
he
all
was
were
in high
shortstops.
school. Yeah, everyone starts as a shortstop. But again, the joke is that the Mets are building this whole team of second basemen. Maybe we're just building a whole team of shortstops because that's where all these guys started. So it's nice that if you did play shortstop, you're able to do this. Another cool note from Will. Apparently Mendoza coached Bichette's brother in the Yankee system.
Oh, Dante?
Yeah.
Bichette Jr.? Yeah, he was a horrible player, but
said that was like a nice little piece of connection there, that they actually had something to kind of talk about there, help those meetings go. And does it kind of feel like this Mets team is pushing to be more contact-oriented?
A little bit. I think that they probably... It's not even necessarily about being contact-oriented. I think one of the things that we spoke about a lot on the podcast last year was that too passive. There was a passivity at times at the plate where Bo Bichette's probably the complete opposite of that. If there's a pitch down the middle, he is going to take a war hack at it. He doesn't get cheated. He almost has like, no, I won't say, but he's almost Javier Baez like in that. He's going to go up there and he's going to be swinging.
Ready to swing.
Yeah, he's taking hacks where a lot of the guys last year on this Mets team, how many times did we see a pitch down the middle where we're like, jump on it, like be ready? It felt like at times the Mets weren't ready to do damage.
Nobody likes a bloated cell phone bill. It can consume you. It can take over. It can be very annoying. So I know that 2025 ended Kratz, and that's when you have your end of year sales, but there actually is still one sale that is running until the end of the month.
Mint Mobile. They still have their 50% off their unlimited premium wireless offer that you got to go and get and take advantage of because it's not necessarily going to be around all the time.
And all plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Quit overspending on wireless with 50% off unlimited premium wireless. Plans start at $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Over 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
But Bo still does. He still avoids strikeouts. Again, he will chase. He'll have some of the worst swings and misses and chases that we're ever going to see in our lives this year. We're going to have to deal with that. But I think the play that kind of like was the foreshadowing to the Mets offseason was against the Nationals, second to last week of the year. We had the two guys on the ninth, and Nimmo struck out like on 3 pitches. All he had to do was put the ball in play and tie that game. And it kind of felt like that. And again, like Nimmo and Alonso, especially not McNeil, those weren't really like big strikeout guys. Like they sat around league average with their strikeout rates. But guys like Bichette, Semien, and Polanco last year with the shrinking of a strikeout rate in the history of Major League Baseball one season to the next. Like these are low strikeout guys. Like there's just. And we talk about this all the time. I think also more so on the windup, but that lineups, you love having guys that do different things in a lineup together. So the fact that there are different archetypes of Soto, Lindor, and now Bichette as your top 3 hitters, like that's a fun thing to force pitchers to game plan against.
I mean, and even look at what the Blue Jays did last year with that lineup where Bo's coming from. Like that was a hyper contact focused lineup. Hyper. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. obviously brings the pop, and George Springer brought the pop last year. But even like looking at the Dodgers, they have a bunch of guys that do different things. Like obviously they have some of the best players on the planet, but they were playing like Miggy Rowe at times. They were playing Andy Paez. Those were guys who were not anything similar to all the other good hitters that they have on their team, but they did serve a role and a purpose.
And this also brings it back now to where Brett Baty kind of lands in this whole thing, because I think just the fact of how Ken Rosenthal tweeted about it the other day, that there was like the fact that he mentioned Brett Baty and trade in one of the initial tweets about Bo Bichette, that kind of got everyone's brain churning. The Brett Baty for Jarren Duran rumor kind of got started like wildfire because it does make logical sense. But I really want to keep Brett Baty still.
I do too.
I do not want to trade this guy. He is pure insurance across the board. Like there's no baseball team has ever had the problem of too many capable players.
Never a bad thing.
It's never been an issue before. The fact that Baty, like just the way he picked up second base last year, I'm like, he could probably pick up first, right?
Could probably pick up left. Like he's a good athlete.
He played 30 games and left in the minors. Like there was that clip that went back around from in Syracuse when he just like gunned the guy down from left field to home. Like I don't really want Brett Baty playing left field in opening day, but like Brett Baty's gotten to himself to a point with me where it's like I just believe in what he can do next, like the toughness, the the pliability. Like, I know he's got something with him.
It seems like he's going to be the McNeil role. And also, like...
Yeah, and people are saying that now, too.
With Brett Baty, like, someone is going to get hurt. There's going to be someone that gets hurt
If
at
not
some
multiple
point
guys.
this season.
This is a very injury-prone team right now.
Super injury-prone team. Bo Bichette and his bad knees. Jorge Polanco's been hurt
knees.
like every single year. Marcus Simeon's old. Like,
Yeah, it's some...
There's going to be guys, and you know what? They're also going to need days off, and there's going to be matchups. And I think that something that we've talked about that we thought the Mets did well, like in 2024, you've got to use every roster spot on this team and have a purpose and have some value. And last year, there were a lot of spots where guys were redundant, guys didn't really serve a purpose, and at times you were like, not even really a Major League Baseball player right now is filling the spot, where I think right now, like, while Brett Baty might not have a starting spot on opening day, probably still gets 500 plate appearances and probably still going to be a pretty valuable player for this team.
And there's definitely a difference in the way the Mets view a guy like Baty, who, again, seems like he low-key in the short term might have just gotten pushed out of his spot when you compare it to, like, the comment I sent you on Twitter what Nico Horner said about Matt Shaw.
That was
where they were
crazy.
like, oh, you're going to give up some days off so, you know, Shaw, young kid, can get some playing time? No. Like, it seems
they
like...
hate that guy.
They do not like him in that clubhouse seemingly, and I really just can't figure out why. But there's just something to having a glue guy like Baty on the roster who's a left-handed hitter, all platoon advantages, and, like, it seems like these guys are ready to ride for him. He's like, that was cool when they went to do that workout again, like saying that again, like the young's taking it over. And flip side of that too, like Bo Bichette's probably only here 1 year.
Pretty much. Like, the only way he's here 2 years, truthfully, something has to go catastrophically wrong for him where he can't opt out. Or really bad for baseball, crazy mega lockout, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take my $42 million and play 60 games with the Mets this year.
I'll say this about that too. Like, do you think these guys would be signing these crazy short-term, high AV contracts if they thought they were missing games next year and losing more money per game missed than they would have?
I mean, I think so. You still want that security. Like, at the end of the day, if there is a lockout and let's say the season's 100 games, obviously your contract's going to get prorated or however they work that out. It's probably, like, the offseason's going to be a mess, too. You don't want to be a free agent in a lockout offseason. If there's an opportunity for Bo Bichette, if he plays well, he's going to opt out, obviously. But, like, at the same time, let's pretend it is so bad. And let's pretend baseball doesn't start until June. Like, you don't really want your offseason to be... Because the lockout would happen, what, like in late
December
November,
1st,
early December? Yeah.
1st.
So you don't want your offseason to basically be, like, 3 weeks and then possibly start up again in April or May.
Yeah, not wrong about that at all. And it is... I also like the idea that everyone was like, and we kind of played to this too because that was our instant reaction, but it turned out now knowing the reporting wasn't true, like a panic move by the Mets. But then everyone really conveniently forgot the fact that no team panicked more than the Philadelphia Phillies, who paid 35-year-old JT Realmuto $15 million a year for 3 years, like moments after the Bo Bichette news broke.
Yeah, we were joking about like the guys that were happy, like when Ranger Suarez got that contract, Framber Valdez, people were celebrating, Kyle Tucker getting paid, everyone's celebrating. Nobody's happier than JT Realmuto. He's like a third.
No.
He's like, the Mets just signed a shortstop to play a position he never had, and I got a 3-year deal out of it. How did that work?
Literally, how did that work? And again, it's very fun that we got to steal Bo Bichette from the Phillies, and has also the fallout of the Phillies people getting really pissed off about it. But
it's gonna be awesome that they're gonna hate Bo Bichette's guts. I love that. That's like great.
They're
for
going
the
to boo
rivalry.
him.
Yes.
Oh, great for the rivalry. But
they're gonna boo Bo. They're gonna boo Bo.
Bo,
That's
boo
just
Bo.
we're chanting his name.
Boo Bo. It's fun right now. I do think that there's also conversations that would be fun to have about the Mets' plan, direction. I had a huge argument with my buddy Ryan in a group chat on Friday talking about
Shout out Ryan.
Shout out Ryan, right guy. Shout out Brendan too. Hopefully listening to this
Shout out
podcast.
Brendan.
Shout out Brendan's the man. But there's like Brett Baty, as much as we love Brett Baty, and I think still almost no one loves Brett Baty more than you and I. Like,
No, we're the number one. Maybe his fiance. That's probably his parents.
Yeah, mother and father. Like, we've been leading the Brett Baty fan club for years now. He still wasn't a sure thing going into the season. Like, we like to think that Brett Baty was a pretty sure thing, but he has like 100 good major league games under his belt and 150 bad ones. So it's like it could have still gone in both directions. So for the people that are maybe frustrated about the Mets' plan, blocking young players, or just like kind of like talking out both sides of their mouths, like, the Mets got something way more certain for something that was a bigger question mark in the starting lineup, and they got better for it, and they got deeper for it. So it's fun to see us like still pushing chips in after it kind of felt like we'd recede back after the Kyle Tucker thing.
We also don't have a DH still. So like,
yeah, no, there's space for all these guys.
And something that like we've always talked about too is that unless you're having like the Kyle Schwarber, Shohei Ohtani, like those kind of DH players, it is a position that probably should be a little more fluid. Like you don't want to
100%.
Like one of the biggest issues last year, and this is going to sound probably crazy to bring up, but like Jesse Winker basically being on the team only to DH, and we know he can't play the outfield. That kind of hamstrung the team a little bit because roster-wise, like, and it's hard to put Jesse Winker in the game in the outfield because you can't put him in a close game because he can't play that position. So having DH be open, it allows for kind of half days off. It allows for a guy like Brett Baty and Bo Bichette to be in the lineup still every single day if you really wanted to. If you're worried about the left-handed, arm or whatever, this also gives Mark Vientos now an option to maybe be the DH. I'm still not crazy about it, but possibly. I think he might get squeezed out of this roster sooner than later, but...
Oh, he's been squeezed out.
Yeah, because everyone talks about Brett Baty losing playing time. Like, Mark Vientos has got to be on another team by opening day. There's no shot now.
Like, Brett Baty could force his way into playing time because still, and this is a conversation we had last year, Baty versus Vientos, when that was still kind of like, we don't know who's going to win out the job for that season.
And we were still kind of the Baty side, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of our bold takes the preseason, that Baty would have a better season than Mark Vientos, worth more F4, and everyone thought that was crazy. But again, no matter how you slice it, and this will probably go through the rest of the offseason, Brett Baty's still probably the best third base defender on this team.
Yes.
So if you're the best defender in a position on your team, and you can hit, and he can hit, I think Brett Baty can hit. Everything we saw in the second half, we believe it's like there's a good chance he does force his way into playing time. And again, like Bo Bichette and Jorge Polanco, very injured dudes.
Yes.
Bad knees, bad ankles on those guys. So like something is just probably going to happen. So it's nice to have a good guy that can glue the entire roster together.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm definitely liking the Bo Bichette move more and more as the days go on. It is insane that he's going to make more money than Aaron Judge next year.
Yeah, but there's also something going on here where it's kind of changing the way some of these big market teams seem to be thinking. We talk about it a lot, how finite roster spots are and how important they are. And like, especially the way Will framed the big article about it was like the Mets knew they needed a star. It didn't matter what position this guy played. They had to squeeze in a very high level player. And that's because part of the reason you lose Pete Alonso, you lose star level hitting production. But the way that Kyle Tucker negotiation went crazy and the way this Bo Bichette thing came together for this crazy AAV and the way that seemingly open-minded to do this with both Framber Valdez and Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, now
as
that
this offseason
Bellinger,
continues, like we kind of have to throw out a lot of the ways that we talk about the value of free agent contracts because like these teams don't fucking care.
Yeah, short term they definitely don't care.
Not at all.
Like. And that's again the bigger market teams, but also these smaller market teams could totally take advantage of this exact same kind of pay structure. And like the Cleveland Guardians could do this. They would still have one of the 20 lowest payrolls in all of baseball, and their team would get infinitely better. They'd run away with the American League Central.
No, and but there's just because a lot of times people like talk about dollar per war and all this stuff, and like $10 million per war, like $11 million per war, $8 million per war, however you like wind up with that calculation, but like. The Dodgers said we don't give a fuck. Like we're giving a 4-5 win player $60 million. Doesn't matter. The Mets are giving a 3-4 win player $42 million. Doesn't matter. It's like the market is going to be irrational when you only have a few good players available like that. And like if the good teams want guys, they gotta get them. But I'm still like, I still left this weekend being like, I'm knowing we were completely used for leverage on Kyle Tucker.
Of course.
I was still very happy that we were gunning for him. Like we were like, we want to do everything we can to get this guy on our team, and
offered him an insane amount of money. So
we offered him also one of the most player-friendly contracts in the history of baseball too. But like, and it does feel like the one thing that changed the panic move after missing Kyle Tucker was letting Bo Bichette opt out after 1 year, which again is fucking crazy when I'm thinking about it.
They also said they felt like they had to because the Phillies gave him what he wanted, and like, fine, we'll give you the 1 year opt out. I was like, okay, well, yeah, deal.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to spend a year in Queens. It's like, I do like hearing the Blue Jays fans talk about Bo Bichette. I went on local Toronto radio, television.
Nice.
I went local news on Friday, but like these guys love Bo Bichette.
They do.
They loved Bo Bichette. Like I can't wait to get a guy on my team that these other fans love so much.
And from what I'm seeing from the Mets fans that hate my guts, they love Bo Bichette too. Where I'm based on my comments.
I mean, you want to hash that out real quick? Let's the first little teaser at the media marvel. Mark going on foul territory on Friday with our guys FT fam, saying that he'd rather have Pete Alonso than Bo Bichette, and you got eviscerated.
And I'm right. I stand by that. But Pete Alonso is a better hitter. It's just Bo Bichette does the thing that I think is really easy for the fan to be like, that's better. And that's he hit 311. So all those kind of baseball fans are like, 311, he's a better hitter. But then we know Pete Alonso hits about 30 more home runs a year. So, like, I give me the power all day. But at the same time, like, there's different ways to skin a cat. And Bo Bichette, Pete Alonso, they're both going to have value in this lineup. Bo Bichette might not do it in the power department. But, again, I still think in this lineup he's going to drive in like 100 runs.
Yeah, I think there probably is something to the fact that, like we said before, you want different hitter archetypes in your lineup. And last year, like, maybe one of the reasons that it did feel like this lineup got stale for extended periods, well, there's no way they ever should have because of the talent, is that approach-wise, a lot of these guys were very similar.
Yes.
Like, Nimmo wants to be passive.
And Eric Chavez.
And Eric Chavez, of course. But he got buried in the zones. We couldn't really be passive anymore. And then, like, Pete Soto, Lindor, they are kind of all just hunting for power. They're kind of hunting for their dingers. Like Pete definitely did, especially last year, is a lot better at making consistent contact, driving the ball in the alleys. But like at the end of the day, like if Bo Bichette's not the worst defender at his position in the league, he probably give himself another full war of just not being a horrible defender. And
yes,
like, Bo Bichette probably has a better chance to be a 5-win player than Pete.
That's a fact. Yes,
but Pete likely has a higher OPS than Bo.
Yes, and that's really where I was going with that entire comment. Is just like, I'm going to take the guy with the higher OPS. Like, you look at runs scored, RBIs, fuck defense, don't care about. Bo might not be good. So
Bo might still be terrible at third base. But if Bo's your DH, it's like, all right, whatever. Like, he's probably going to hit 300,
and then I would really rather have Pete. But then it's the whole third base conundrum. But also at the same time, it's time to get over it. Pete Alonso's not a Met anymore.
No, he's not. I also do hate the thing that sometimes fans are doing. This happened in the replies under that tweet with you and people in the quote tweets, just like vilifying Pete Alonso. Like, you can't leaving. You can't make me hate Pete Alonso. Like,
I'll never hate him for a second. It's the same thing with DeGrom, too. People are like, he left. How could you still like this guy? I'm like,
paid him more money.
Because he was a Met. Did you watch him pitch for this team? He was incredible. How would I hate his guts?
One time Simple Man came on, like, I think I cried, like, had like a tear in my eye. I was like, I miss this guy.
My cousin got married, and the first song with her husband and his mom was Simple Man. I was like, oh my God, I got chills.
No, it was the night he came back last year for the Rangers. I was finishing my Roll the World shift, and I was going to meet you guys out. I think you were out Rock and Roll for something.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I was like, I gotta watch DeGrom do this. Like, I think I might just played Simple Man by myself, but like, I'm emotional watching Jacob DeGrom come back to the mound. But we do have to move on. We do have to move forward. Yes. Bo Bichette's a very, very good player. I think the Mets believe they got a star caliber talent. And
hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, again, whatever. It takes a take. We live in the take ecosystem here. It's still crazy to me about the qualifying offer stuff, because now it makes me think that we're ready to rumble. And one of the most fun things about this move from my perspective is that we have so much left to do this offseason. This is so sick that we're gonna have a fun January of Mets content because of this.
I know. I'm about to be in Puerto Rico for a week. I'd love for this next week. Just calm down a little bit. No emergency episodes. I'd like to sit on the beach, hang out, enjoy my time. But we're linked to Bellinger more than we have been all off season, and I think a big reason why is because of the contract that Bo Bichette just got. Now Scott Boras is like, well, give us that. Give us that contract, and Cody Bellinger's yours.
And it seems like the Yankees are a little bit perturbed with Cody Bellinger at the moment, being like, dude, we're giving you 5 years over $30 million per. Like, get over yourself, dude.
If they don't sign Cody Bellinger, that team is dead. That team's over.
But, like, kind of. Also, if they do sign Cody Bellinger, like, that contract is huge.
No. Here's why I say dead. Obviously, they're still very good. It's not anything about that. But, like, it just builds up more to, like, they can't get over that hump. They run into speed bumps. They can't finish anything. They're not the big bad Yankees anymore. Like, they are losers if they lose out on Cody Bellinger. Not even to the Mets. Just to anybody else. He should be a Yankee. There's no way he shouldn't be a Yankee.
But on the flip side of that, like, I understand them standing their ground, being like, dude, this is a better than market value contract for you, who you're not a sure thing at all, dude. You've been available 4 out of 5 off seasons.
What'll be really cool for them is that their team will be actively getting worse next year, and they think that they're going to have a better performance, which was, getting bounced in the ALDS?
So,
what the hell just happened?
It was either Rosie or Dylan just dropped something. I don't know what's going on over there, but that was so loud.
That was incredibly loud. Is everyone okay?
It's like a very full bowl probably just fell on the ground. But the QO penalty now, the fact that we got rid of it for signing Bo, just to refresh guys, the QO penalty for this, the Mets are losing their 2nd and 5th highest selections in this year's draft. So 1, you're losing those selections. 2, you're losing the slot pool money that those picks would have given you to your pool. And we also lose $1 million from our international bonus pool for next year's signing period.
But they did just get their big guy. What's his name?
Wandy Asinyan.
Yeah, nice pronunciation.
I hope that was right. I was a guess from the name. But if we sign another player with a QO, now we're going to forfeit our 3rd and 6th highest picks. And you know what's crazy? I don't think any team's ever done this before. If you sign a third guy with the QO, no penalty, free.
Well, the Dodgers, what are they?
Well, the Dodgers did for this year for Tucker. I think they lost their 2, their 3, their 5, and their 6, and $2 million of bonus pool.
But if they get a third, then they would be the team to do that.
That's what I'm saying. So I do think
I think they're done.
I don't know if they're done, dude. Their payroll is still lower than it was last year with Kyle Tucker. Because they had a bunch of money. They Conforto made like almost $20 million last year to be one of the worst players in the league.
Huge.
Kershaw had a pretty fat contract for the legacy deal, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not him, but like I remember Kirby Yates had the 1-year deal that was pretty fat. Like there was a weird. I said this in the wind-up free agent prediction, which is why I thought Tucker would be in that team. They had like $50 million coming off the books. I'm like, they're just gonna give that to Kyle Tucker,
and they did.
Wind up being 60, which is still crazy, but like I think there's something now with teams like the Mets and the Dodgers. These good teams who are like maybe ready to care less about the QOs because like you have a deep ass farm system, you have a deep major league roster. You just trade the guy and you get back something commensurate of like a 2nd and 5th round picks. You know what I mean? Like if we trade Kodai, we'll get like a qualifying offer penalty package back.
100%. And the fact that the Mets have been able to get guys in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th round, and they're now becoming some of the top prospects, not just in the organization, but top 100 prospects in baseball. Guys like AJ Ewing and Jack Wenninger and stuff like that. Like that is the well-oiled machine that Steve Cohen talked about when he came here. The tongue-in-cheek about wanting to be the Dodgers East, where it's like...
Which someone asked him first.
Of course, someone did ask him. But, like, at the same time, being able to have that farm system and build it up allows you to be aggressive and truthfully not care about the qualifying offer when a lot of teams clearly do.
Especially because if you want to get the best free agents, they're going to have that qualifying offer.
Yeah.
So if you want and again, the fact that we're willing to do it for Tucker and Bo, willing to do both of them at the same time if it possibly could have happened, like, that's kind of sick. I also think this is now... Oof, we're reaching flow state chaos Mets up. I think this Mets organization not only obsessed with Carson Bench, I think they're obsessed with AJ Ewing.
Yeah, what makes you say about AJ Ewing?
She's been reading a lot more baseball prospectus lately, and a lot of what they're getting defensively in AJ Ewing is that he could be like a plus a center field defender and a plus second base defender. Like being a chess piece like that, 2 spots on the roster who makes tons of contact. And it seems like they just didn't want to lock up outfield long term. I think that they're very, very confident internally about these 2 outfielders, which is fun for us.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like more and more every single day that Carson Bench, one way or another, will be on this team May 1st at the absolute worst.
So Will Salmon said in the article that came out Sunday about where the Mets are going next. The New York Mets are eyeing a versatile outfielder who can handle center field and support the corner spots. People familiar with their plan said. And then he specifically named Harrison Bader, Lars Nootbaar, Jake Myers, and Luis Robert.
I mean, you know, I want Lou Bob so badly.
It kind of fits perfectly for what this team's building right now.
Give me Luis Robert. Give me the fucking chaos.
Everyone's
volatility.
typing their comments right now.
Give me the nonsense of he's either going to be one of the worst hitters in all of baseball, or we're going to get an all-star caliber guy with elite defense in center field. Give me that chaos. This team has a lot of guarantees now by adding the Bo Bichette bat in there and Soto and Lindor. Give me the high volatility guy.
And it's telling that Will specifically said you want someone that can handle center field and possibly support the corner spots, which again, you're saving Tyrone Taylor's roster spot. That fits the mold for what Carson Bench is, but you probably still just don't want the guy on the team opening day. So it's like,
unless he like literally plays so out of his mind, we're like, oh, he has to be on the roster.
So now again, something else.
I wonder if also the Mets feel a little more confident too about giving up the qualifying offer, because if Nolan McLean or Carson Bench Rookie of the Year stuff, you get an extra pick.
100%. Or Sproat or Tong. Like we have for the next 2 years, and next year it could be AJ Newman, could be the next pitcher. We're not even talking about it. Yeah, it could be Jet. Like we have so many guys ready to go. There's a really good chance we're getting picks. The Astros even got a pick this year for Hunter Brown because he's still pre-arbitration. He plays for the Cy Young.
Yeah, Cy Young, exactly.
Second or third. So it's like if you start to actually you can kind of weaponize these prospects and just get picks and picks and picks. And I think the QO thing is fun too, because it seems like we're really ready to give Framber the short-term deal. Yeah. And while Framber's a very imperfect free agent by a lot of accounts, like he's exactly what this team needs.
Yep. Just
talk about steady. If we sign Framber Valdez, I can say with really good confidence, like we're going to give Zach Gallen a 1-year deal.
Yeah, you think so? Do you think that's
there's no penalty for the third.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think like us or the Dodgers are going to try and do that at that point, because like why not? He'll take a 1-year deal. Great.
Dodgers might be the only team that maybe isn't, because you talk about they have 90 pitchers. They have 90 starting pitchers. I know you can never have too many.
Talk about value.
I know you can never have too many, but like at some point, Gavin Stone, River Ryan, Landon Knack, Justin Robleski, like those guys are going to have to make a start one day or be traded. Because they're going to be in AAA forever.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the Dodgers, and I think we're going to start to see this with the Mets over the next few years. I think that you want to keep some of these guys in AAA forever.
Yeah.
Because you want to start their clocks when they're in their prime. Like, if these pitchers start coming up, we just Nolan McClain, like, got married over the weekend. Like, you come up at 25 years old, you can buy out 26 to 32 for the years that are free. Like, that's what you want to pitch.
Free agency.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool, dude. Thanks for giving us your best years. And I'll still say this fully on the record. I want Freddie Peralta. I think we're super in play for Freddie Peralta. I mean, again, like watching this Bo Bichette thing go down, like, dude, I guess both could be in play. Like this,
Yeah, why not? I don't want to give up Brett Baty for Freddie Peralta.
Fuck no, not even close. And also, I think maybe it'd be fun to do an episode. I mean, we'll see what's going on with you this week in Puerto Rico. But if there's ever any smoke around like a Brett Baty Boston trade, I think that'd be a fun breakout episode for us. Like,
yeah, because I mean,
about Duran and Abreu and everything.
It makes so much sense.
It does, but it's call me crazy here. I might rather have Brett Baty.
Ooh, I might call you crazy there. I love Brett.
Dude, but it's 4 years of Brett, 2 years of Duran. Duran like had the one amazing.
What about
year,
Willier?
like,
what if it was for Willier?
I think the hipster Red Sox fans overrate Willier. I do love Willier, and I think Willier is a tweak away from going nuclear.
Yeah,
but I still haven't seen that tweak happen. But like I don't know, Brett. We got Brett till 2030.
That's so long.
And he can play all, like the whole infield
That's
at this
so
point.
long.
And he's a lefty bat with plus bat speed. Like it's like that's great. Like we're gonna Brett Baty when he's 31 years old.
That's
on
crazy.
a rookie deal. Like he's 26 right now. We got 4 more years of service on him.
I can't even believe we're talking about 2030. What this Mets roster could look like right now.
Like I think Brett Baty is such a valuable trade chip. The Mets are going to listen for it, but I also think that they know how much of a piece that he is. I think that we should be acknowledging that. Like again, maybe it's Bellinger. It's still to me, it feels like it's going to be Newt.
You think Newt Bar?
I
know
that's
Will
just
keeps
exactly
bringing
what
him
they
up.
want. Well, I mean, it just that seems like exactly what they want, and also it seems
Is
like
Newt Bar over 30? Will the Cardinals trade a player under 30 this offseason? They've only been trading over 30.
I feel like they want to. I feel like they just want to get as much
Also,
liquidate as much as possible.
He was like so mid. Like
he was dog water last year.
You're gonna trade him at his lowest value.
Oh, I'd love to buy him low. Like that seems great.
Yeah, sure, but I'm saying like for the Cardinals, like they don't have to trade Newt this offseason. There's kind of actually no reason to, because they also have I think nothing behind him really to fill in that spot.
They got nothing in general.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are they're
like,
shot.
I like Josh Baez, but I don't know if he's going to be a big time player like that right now.
Definitely not yet, but he'd be a fun guy to get. Where it's like I kind of get tired of his like ultra passivity, but
it's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, swing the bat,
Swing the fucking bat.
But like he fits well. He's a fun buy low. The physical tools are still great. Like you could easily see Lars Newber having a 3-win season next year, easily.
Yeah, of course, without doubt.
100%. Like I mean,
put him in left field.
Like Jake Myers too. Jake Myers is just like a better Tyrone Taylor. Like
yeah, he is a better Tyrone Taylor. I feel like if you get
Tyrone
Jake
Taylor.
Myers, especially because he is a right-handed bat, surely Tyrone's not going to stay on this team if that's the case. I feel like
it's possible. I'd even love to see Bader back. Like I'd be so happy to see.
I would love
Bader
to see,
come back,
especially because I think it's sticky. He made real changes last year.
Yeah, the bat speed. We saw the bat speed. So like, there are options here for the outfield. Like also at the end of the day, like I don't know, like a Randall Gritch or Carson Bench platoon gets me like probably a little more excited than
I
it
think
should
Randall
be.
Gritch got signed.
Oh, he got signed finally?
I think he's like
he was
weirdly,
bad last year, but
I think he's on the Royals. Maybe.
I think he ended the year with the Royals. No, he's still a free agent.
Is he?
I mean, he was dog water last year, so maybe it's just over.
I
don't want to worry about it. But like, talk about
Richard.
a lefty match. Like even like, I don't know. Like they'll probably you can still squeeze Austin Hayes on here. Like there's a lot of options right now for pitching and outfield, which I think are fun. And like it's cool to see how many different directions this team can go now the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think they're going to be active again. This signing Bo Bichette, now go crazy, get nuts.
Oh, absolutely get nuts. This was a get nuts move.
You can't sit on your hands after you make this move.
I think there's a clear indication to us there's no chance they're going to sit on their hands.
And it also seemed like, based on what we know about everything that was going on that we never heard about, the Mets never had a plan to sit on their hands.
No, never into consideration. Even with the Dodgers signing
Sleepy Stearns?
Some people are like, oh, just quit. They're going to win anyway. This is baseball. I'm not fucking quitting. Like, we're playing a sport here.
So lame. By the way, the Dodgers were 2 outs away from losing the World Series last year.
And an inch from losing the World Series. And again, like sounding Kyle Tucker, good for them. They made their move. Also,
it'd be even better to beat them.
We said it before. The Mets got their guy, Wandy Asanyan, the top player in this international class. Again, similar to Elian Pena last year, the scouts say the guy's a dude. On the Mets'd podcast, I think the company line here is that we're not going to remark on like the baseball talent of the children. Like,
no,
let's see them play minor leagues first.
Yeah, our take will constantly and always has been come back in 5 years when he turns 20, and I'll tell you how he is. Because as cool as like it is to get hype about these guys, Jason Dominguez is just starting to break in. We heard about that guy forever, and the Yankees refuse to play him.
Think about Robert Poisson.
That guy tried to become a pitcher. I think he's 22.
He might not even be that old, but it's just
all right. Wait, over under 22 and a half for Robert Poisson.
I think I'm gonna go under.
Robert Poisson is 23.
Oh, 6. A good line. Said the good line there. But again, it's so much can happen good
11th.
and bad with these guys. There's who knows. But it's nice the Mets keep getting what is perceived to be premium talent in the international free agency. We traded our boy Franklin Gomez though to get the money to keep our class and sign Wandy.
Yeah.
So he's now we sent him to Cleveland for the international slot money, which again, shout out Franklin Gomez. We keep trading this pitching depth in minors, and then I want. It's been a while. This is a classic. This is an old school messed up episode. I got 2 really good media marvels.
Yes. I know one of them. The Michael K one. I think I missed.
Oh, so the Michael K one's the lead, and everyone knows.
Tell me about the Lion.
Everyone knows that Michael K is a huge fan of the Messed Up podcast, consistent listener. If you guys want to find last year his rant about us, it's deep in our YouTube channel. But so he was talking about how the Blue Jays have gotten worse this offseason. He's spouting off on his Twitter, and again, it's possible the Blue Jays roster right now could be considered worse than it was the end of last year for sure. You lost Bo Bichette, you might not have gotten an impact hitter. We'll see what happens to Kazuma Okamoto, but you got Dylan Cease, who we think by all accounts is probably a top 15 pitcher in the game. So then when someone replied to Michael K talking about how much worse the Blue Jays got, someone said the Blue Jays signed Dylan Cease. And then Michael K goes, and lost Chris Bassett, Max Scherzer, and Bo Bichette, your move. Michael K saying this, not realizing, again, originally he was structuring his comments about Yankees versus Blue Jays. Yankees think you're pulling back ahead of them.
The Blue Jays thing really gets under his skin.
He can't handle the Blue Jays
Can't handle the 6.
So Michael K referenced these 3 players, Chris Bassett, Max Scherzer, and Bo Bichette. Mark, do you know how many of those guys were on the ALDS winning roster for the Blue Jays last year against the Yankees?
When they knocked out the Yankees, I'm going to say 0, I think.
Not one of those players played against the Yankees in the playoffs and en route to knocking them out. So that was a good one by Michael K. Not checking back in his history. He knows he's been prone to do that sometimes.
Wait, Michael K. was wrong? He didn't know something?
Can't believe it.
That's crazy. I thought the Lion knew everything.
No, he's over there and we're over here.
That's true. That's why he gets to do his job his way.
Another big one here. So there was a cool Philly meltdown after this Bo Bichette thing, which is awesome. And so
the
funny.
only thing that would have been better is if we could have gotten Ricky Bo and those guys on NBC Sports just absolutely going bonkers.
The best part about this, too, is that how public those negotiations with Bo were. They let 2 of their players know, and Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott. We didn't really want you guys playing. One of you guys was going to lose your job, but now you both have them. So, all right, whatever.
Bad offseason for the morale of the Phillies right now. Bryce Harper got called not elite by his GM. The second base and third baseman, they're like, we're happy to replace you guys.
And then with that, again, you don't even get the guy. You let them know that. You kill their own confidence. The Phillies are having the offseason now that seems like a lot of Mets fans, possibly you included, wanted us to have. Get the band back together, bring everybody back, and their fans are having a collective meltdown about that. But Jeff Skursky, Skversky, sports and news anchor, former 6 ABC Philly. Bo Bichette career stats per game versus Phillies third baseman Alex Boehm. Bo Bichette has better numbers, but it's not drastic enough to justify the massive difference in money. On top of that, New York Mets new star was one of the worst shortstops MLB last season. Then there's a graphic. This goes up there at all-time graphics like Thaddeus Young, LeBron
graphic.
James, Larry Bird.
What's
like James McCann versus JT Realmuto.
What's was it Tony Snell? The Tony Snell line of 0 0
Zeros.
0 0.
Yeah. So Bo Bichette per game, 1.21 hits. Alec Boehm's 1.05 hits. And again, if you guys are unfamiliar with these per game hit numbers, it's because no one has ever used them before.
Because you would have to be an idiot to use per game stats for baseball. That's insane.
We've got 150 years of baseball stats. No one's ever broken it down like home runs per game, 0.15 for Bo Bichette versus 0.10 for Alex Boehm.
This is my favorite one.
Strikeouts
per game as a stat. That'd be so stupid.
We got WAR per game.
WAR per game?
0.028. We went to the 1,000th decimal place. And you know, this is the best part of this. So you know Alec Boehm's WAR per game in his career?
What is it?
0.007. To put that on the graphic, that's mean to the guy. It's terrible,
like,
but it's...
To think that a baseball stat per game, there's like a good game, you get 4 things might have happened in that entire game, and you need to break it down per game. That's so fucking stupid.
This graphic is other woke nonsense. The game is gone. You can't be doing shit like that. But again, fun to see the Philly fans kind of getting at each other, and like the fact that how mad they were that we got Bo Bichette from them.
Oh, it's always great to see those mutants just completely crumble like that.
Yep. I think you got anything else?
I don't think so. I think that was a good little 45 minutes. We got Frankie Peppers.
Yeah, we got Frankie. So we did we didn't get Frankie didn't get us quick enough for the episode we put out on Friday for the Bo Bichette
Yeah, we got his
signing.
Kyle Tucker take.
So
Which
now,
weirdly played exactly
or perfectly.
to Bo Bichette.
So now we got Frankie Peppers. This was on 12:36, so like 30 minutes after the Bo Bichette signing happened.
This is Frankie Peppers on Bo Bichette.
Frankie Peppers on Bo Bichette sending this out.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I don't know if you're recording again, later, whatever. It says, James, you saw my message that I sent last night, but we got Bo Bichette. We ain't missing out. This is a good move. I like it. He don't pull the ball in the air too much, but he hits it hard. And that's all we can ask. So I heard this from a friend. I'm going to start calling him Bo Bish Mets. I hope it catches on. Thanks, boys. Let's go Mets.
Wait, what about? I got one for you, James. Ready this? It's the Bolignese.
The Bolignese.
The
I like the
Bolignese.
Also, Bo Bichette. That's an easy
Boba
one.
Met, Bo Bichette the Met.
Bo Bichette the Met, Boba Fett for the Star Wars folks out there.
How have our last two third basemen been Brett the Met and Bo
the Met.
Bichette the Met?
We'll see what happens if Mark Vientos is a Met, but wow, good. Old school Mets'd up episode.
Yeah, just 45 minutes of
Yeah.
This isn't really a YouTube title-y one, but I'll find a way to get it done.
You'll find one. That's where your genius comes in.
I'll find a way. We've hit a flow state. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to Mets'd Up over on YouTube. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Neck Mark, and if you want more baseball content, The Windup, links in the description. Check it out. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Mets.